You and I with Rashmi Shetty is a simple attempt of bringing in stories of people you and I can draw inspiration from. Ordinary folks, extraordinary lives. Their uniqueness and individuality that make them interesting to talk to and to listen to. A reaffirmation of the fact, open your eyes wider, the world is far more beautiful when we acknowledge the presence of both you and I. "23-year-old Divanshu Kumar and 24-year-old Samyak Jain are graduates from IIT Madras and are guests for today's episode. They are the co-founders of Involve, an international award-winning social enterprise that aspires to create student-driven learning via peer teaching. Enterprising, motivated, passionate, they both operate from abundance, and I love it. They sure prove India is in safe hands.
I love your dreams because for me, I can see two bright young fellow Indians. So our country is in safe hands for sure, who are humble, who are very reassured, operate from abundance, and can see that life has a way of giving back when you operate from abundance. But what is amazing for me is their journey began in IIT Chennai. How did it start? Where are they from? And how has it been since is what we're going to find out in this episode of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. So Samyak, we'll start with you first. If you can start your journey, go slightly back from out of IIT Chennai. Where have you come from and what brought you to IIT Chennai?
I was born and brought up in Patna, Bihar. Mm-hmm. I live in a joint family. Mm-hmm. So I have my father's are 4 brothers. And I think I had one of the most amazing childhood of my life. I just feel that I think that has been the most amazing part for me. I always from the beginning. I think in the school I was always very studious. I always was in top 5 of the class, and I think I never gave a thought. Okay, what do I have to become as such? But there was one of my cousin brother who was into IIT Guwahati. And he used to get a lot of respect. I think I was in 8th or 9th grade. I didn't know IIT till then. I'm like, okay, he is into IIT, something big. He's getting a lot of respect, and I'm like, okay, I just want that. I didn't have an aim to become an engineer. So yeah, just after 10th grade, the parents were asking, okay, what do you want to take, science or commerce? My own brother wanted me to take commerce because he was from that background. He wanted me to join and start a business with him. I'm like, no, I'm not interested as such. I'll go with science because I like maths a lot. So I chose that, and I think it was a tough decision to move to Delhi because from my birth I have been living in my joint family. So I had to go to Delhi, live alone with one of my cousin brother who was also preparing with me. And yeah, I think that 2 years taught me a lot. Specifically taught that IIT preparation is not about going into IIT or an engineering college. It's about the journey. It's about the 2 years journey, the struggle, the highs, the lows, staying away from family, and then also keeping yourself very, very motivated towards the goal because of which you have came 1,000 kilometers far from your home. I think that was the most amazing sort of 2 years of my life, because of which I was very sure that if I do not get into IIT, I will not have anything to lose. If I will go into any engineering college, I'll do something good. I was very sure about that because that was the confidence that I got from the teachers from there. The coaching institute is called Vidya Mandir classes. Very, very grateful to them. And yeah, fortunately got into IIT Madras. Again, never thought of which college, which stream. I just wanted the top 7 IITs are there. I'm I'm like, if I get any of them, I'll be fine. I think I got IIT Madras chemical engineering, and like, yes, I'm there. Yeah, that's it. My journey till IIT Madras.
Okay, and one more secret I want. I hope you'll at least reveal it by the end of the conversation, Samyak. There is a huge connection between Bihar and IIT and the civil services. How is it that Bihar is able to crack IITs and the civil services like no other state has? Maybe if you feel like it, you can tell me offline, but do give it a thought. Okay?
I have one point which I'll cover later.
Yeah, okay. And you, Divanshu, if you can tell us your journey, from where it began and how did it reach IIT Chennai?
I am from Gaya. In Bihar as well, so I guess from Patna, I'm from Gaya. I had a very basic schooling till I think my 8th grade, in the sense that just used to go school which was alongside my house. Did not really had a lot of aspiration at that point in time. Did well in school, like Samyak was saying. So subject-wise, interest was there. I think I had one teacher who was there who really pushed me to always think about things in an innovative manner. So it would more be like, it was not really a tuition. After school hours, I would just go and sit in his house and stay there for 4 or 5 hours. He wouldn't teach anything. It would just be like, if I had any questions, I would just reach out to him and he would answer. And the questions could be about anything. He was not a subject expert. So he was essentially, I think, an ex-Air Force, and he was an engineer himself. Had a very amazing career. He liked me a lot. So that is, I think it was the seed to think about different things. And in 9th class, I actually got into one of the schools which are considered the best in the city. Very difficult to get into. My father never thought that we would do that because we could not afford it at that point in time. So it was really good to see that we got there. And that essentially changed the trajectory in which we were thinking. Found a friend who was thinking about IIT. I had one family member who had done IIT, my cousin brother. But that wasn't really much of a thought to aspire for IIT at that point in time. But when both of us were deciding that we would want to do something, we thought that, okay, let's give this a try. And we also came to Delhi, same institute that Samyak talked about. But in that time, we did not know each other. So, and that was essentially how we sort of prepared for IIT. We were very competitive. I and my friend, it used to be fierce in that manner, and we really wanted to sort of go there. But about the branch as such, I was interested in mechanical engineering. So my options were primarily sort of to think about Bombay Mechanical, Delhi Mechanical, Kanpur Mechanical, and then Madras. Did not get Kanpur because of 1 mark. So that time it was a bit of a setback. But now that I look back, I realize that that's how sort of life is. You do not really get what you were essentially planning it to be. I chose Kanpur because Kanpur was just 6 hours away from my home. Ended up in Madras, which was 48 hours away from home, quite far as such. So that's primarily sort of been the journey to IIT.
As part of your bio, Samyak, you have said that you are a YES fellow and a gratitude fellow, top 30 fellows selected across the world. And you, Divanshu, you have received an award from the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, featured in CNBC's Young Turks, in Forbes, LinkedIn, Yourstory, and other media houses, and have been recognized as a top 16 young entrepreneurs globally by Singapore International Foundation. Even before I proceed further, I am curious, how old are the two of you to have achieved so much? Was this part of your journey in IIT, or once you were done with IIT Madras that all of this started coming in?
I think for both of us, it was all of this that you talked about was before we graduated. It was until 2019 when we graduated that it happened.
Oh my God, which means you're 23, 24 years, both of you?
Yeah, I just completed 23.
Okay, that's huge achievement. And Samyak, even you?
Yeah, I'm 24 right now.
So both of you are classmates at IIT then?
No, we're not batchmates. Divanshu is 1 year senior to me.
It was a 5-year program. He was in a 4-year program. And so we graduated at the same time.
How exactly your journey began with both of you getting involved and the birth of Involve? And where did the entire thing meet at a point? You seem to have parallel journeys, but where did you meet?
I think Samyak would talk about how we met, and then I will talk about the journey of Involve. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Divanshu just messaged, few of us, telling that he's thinking about something and that if you guys are free, can you just come to his room? At that point of time, I think three of us just went to his room, and he just briefed, okay, this is what the plan is. As of now, no other idea that we have. Would you like to be a part of it? I'm like, yeah. Anyways, in first year, generally, in IITs, we don't have much to do. It's generally to explore the campus and to explore different sort of clubs that are there. I was not much interested in a lot of clubs. I've seen them, but I was not wanting to go there. It was something new which he was starting from scratch. I personally thought, yeah, let's do it. And the only, I think, condition he put that, okay, the summer vacation that we will have after first year, the 3 months, I think that is the most precious vacation for us, because we have just entered IIT and we have this fame to take out and go to our home and tell, okay, we are into IIT and all, and to tell the stories and everything. And he told that after first year you can't go to home. You can go to home, I think, for 10 to 15 days, but rest of the time we have to do a project in Delhi. But I think I never had a doubt, because I wanted to go away from home. I didn't want to be as such there. So like, okay, let's do that. We both met when I think it was the third or fourth day of my college. I got a mail. I think one of the things that everyone tells us that please see your emails very, very carefully, because everything comes there. Like if you miss out anything, it is your problem. So please make sure you see it. So I was making sure to see the emails, and my brother has come to drop me. There was a mail. Okay, there is something that first and second year students are doing, where you have the opportunity to train or help other students from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, and that you will. And I think just for the perk of it, they also you will also get to visit Pondicherry and all. I think that's a very huge perk. So I was like, yeah, let's go it, because I think in 11th and 12th, during the preparation, one thing that I learned was that I'm good at explaining stuff to people. I can explain the concepts to people, and that was the primary job, I would say. So I went there. Yeah, I met Divanshu in a cafe coffee day, and suddenly I think first thing which cracked was, "Are Bihari?" because we both are from Bihar. I think that connection is just the most amazing thing that we get over there. We started our journey, and within 1 year, Divanshu was managing me, so we got to know each other well, and from there the involved journey started.
So yeah, I think the thing was that in my first year, I myself had been a mentor. Like we had gotten Samyak when he came on board. So then that sort of year, when I was in second year and he was in first year, I was the manager of the team. So he became a part of my team. After like sort of 3-4 months into managing that a batch of students that we had in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, I had the idea was initially to just get IIT students to mentor those kids in 11th and 12th grade, because we would understand how important mentorship plays in like sort of clearing exams like JEE, which are really long-term sort of preparation. But what happened was there was some teaching problem in the center, because of which I had to sort of restructure the team to not just mentor, but also take classroom like 3-hour proper classroom. So when I did that, and I also asked like sort of the 12th grade students to teach the 11th graders and solve their doubts. So this essentially, and this worked in the 3 months that teaching was not available to them by a professor. So it just got to me that whenever there is a multi learning ecosystem available, we can always leverage the students who have learned better to teach somebody else, because it gives more autonomy to that person and they feel more responsible. While for the students who are learning, they just get an environment that is more sort of friendly to them. And this was similar the same thing that we are doing at IIT as well, right? We have seniors who are like sort of helping us. So I thought that could this be something that we could try in our school? Because in schools we have these set of students who are there, like K-12 is always there, right? So that was really the thought. I had talked to a lot of people. That time entrepreneurship wasn't really the crazy thing at that point in time, because we were just students, like I was in my second year. So I thought that, okay, even if that doesn't work out, at least we'll have some new experience that we would have tried, because the internships in the first year are not really that skill building sort of a thing. So I wanted to build a team. I had Avanti people who are already engaged in teaching and some kind of training. So I just floated this to everybody. Samyak showed interest. Another sort of fellow PA, his name was Pratik. He showed interest. And we said that, yeah, like Samyak said, the only condition was that we'll have to spend our summer in Delhi. So Delhi, I had the alumni school. The school is ASN Senior Secondary School. And the principal was very supportive of the work that we were doing. So I had pitched to her and she was like, okay, I'll give you the avenue to try out. So we were like, okay. And that's what happened. So while the semester was getting over, we built a team of about 15 interns from Delhi itself who were willing to work with us on various parts of training, content development, branding, and things like that. So even though that was the project sort of thing that we were doing, we were actually building an organization, because there was a team who would do sort of training and content. There was a team who would do operations. There was a team who would do branding and communications. So things like that, right? And we had like sort of Avnish, Samyak, and there was this other colleague of mine. He was based out of Pune, and we had connected after like sort of 3-4 years. He said that he was volunteering for social sector. So just asked him that I'm doing something like this. Would you be willing to spend your summer in Delhi? And he was like, okay. So his name is Avnish, and he's still with us. He's one of the other founding members of Involve. So we sort of got on board, and that's how really the journey started. So yeah, and that's so. I'll talk about the journey in detail probably a bit later, but that's how we got together and get started involved.
Okay, and a little about your award-winning project with your professor, what you started. Can you tell us
sure.
briefly on that?
So till the couple of years in college, I did not do much of mechanical engineering, because the initial courses that we have are not mechanical oriented. I was primarily interested in product design and development. So there was a couple of college teams that I was a part of. I was part of a founding team that planned to develop electric racing car, so we couldn't like sort of make a lot of progress there. Worked on a couple of other sort of smart robotic projects. In the final year, as a master's thesis, like because I was a dual degree program, we were supposed to work on a project, and I did not have interest in much sort of abstract projects. So I reached out to one of my professors and said that, sir, I am interested in building something tangible that can have societal impact as well. Do let me know if there is something. My professor Prabhu Rajagopal, who like we are working together still, he had been thinking about developing robots for septic tank cleaning, and he had worked with a couple of folks earlier, but the progress hadn't been really much. So he said that, okay, this is a project that I have personally close to my heart. We can sort of raise funds for it also if required. If you want to give this a try, you can do that. So I was like, okay, well and good. Initially, I wasn't that into the project, because typical college student mindset, you complete it and then you have to anyway go away and like work on Involve that was there. One of the design philosophies that I follow in any work that I do is essentially to work with customers or work with the stakeholders who I'm working for, because the kind of insight that you get when you work with them is unparalleled. Right when we were sort of developing the product, the first prototype that I built after 2 months, I took it to them and they completely scratched it. They said that this is not going to work, this is a toy. And so I was like, okay, tell me what it looked like. So that was my first experience of actually visiting manual scavenging, like where people were actually going inside the septic tank and getting the sludge out. And let me like sort of just put it over here that it is actually illegal in India. It's been illegal for quite some time, but in 2013 there was a clear law that stated that this should not happen. Still, it goes on unabated because we do not have enough technologies to replace them, right? And there are a lot of social structures that are put in place that still let them do that. Like there are people who believe that certain class of people are born to clean somebody else's sludge, right? So this is like horrible. When I saw that, I thought that we have made a lot of technical progress in other things. How complex is this problem that we haven't been able to solve that yet? There has to be something. So that's how like I got more attached to this. And by the time I was sort of finishing college, was able to like completely develop and design a product, manufacture it as well. And when we showed it to them, they said that, yeah, this is something that is closer to what can work. So that's how the whole thing came out. And unfortunately, we got a couple of awards, won a couple of grants to actually develop it into a commercial product. So right now, the progress is that we have like a robotics company that we have set up for that, primarily to develop robots for water and sanitation space, because that's something that I think is the very basic need for every human being in the country. Like the robot is currently undergoing field trials, and we are scheduled to sort of launch it to the market by the end of 2021 if everything goes well.
All the best on that. But now getting back to Involve. When was Involve born? What was the reason for Involve? Can you just give us a brief?
Sure. So like I said in the previous part, the idea was to think about how students can really support each other, right? Because I personally always believe that there's a significant part of the learning that we have from our peer group. I think that's one of the reasons why I and Samyak have very strong sort of alignment on this. We disagree on a lot of other things, but that's something that is the core for us to come together, right? So the idea was to actually get this done. What I thought was if students in the schools can support each other really well, that would be fantastic. Because we always have certain segment of students in the schools who have learned well, and there are certain segments of students who need more help. I am not really much of a sort of advocate for tuitions, because I think that tuitions do not allow students to think independently, ask questions, and give that exploratory space. And schools have their own challenges in the sense that teachers, irrespective of how amazing they are, and we have a lot of amazing teachers, they have limited bandwidth. They cannot give individual attention to each and every child in the classroom. So the senior peer group could be leveraged as that support system, right? And that's something that was a thought. And my experience from Avanti showed me that it was possible. The idea was that let's just try a pilot project for that. We did not have understanding about the actual education problem in India. We're just kids. I was in second year, Samyak was in first year. We just wanted to do a project. So summer of 2016, we went to Delhi, partnered with my alumni school, and had 12 students in summer who volunteered to teach 48 junior kids. The idea was to pair one senior student with 4 junior students, right? And after 2 months of the work that we did, we had really good insights. What we learned was the academics of the junior students could be improved well, doubts being cleared, concepts being cleared. And there's a good amount of value addition for the senior students. It's not just that they are giving time to teach somebody else, but the clarity that they are getting, the leadership skills that they are getting, the responsibility is unparalleled. The thought process changes. And we had students who were able to talk about that. We were like, okay, let's not sort of end this. So after we got back to college, and obviously the other thing was that we got a lot of recognition as well. There were 2 national newspapers which covered us. So we were in the cloud thinking, oh wow, we have done some amazing work. So that was there too. And I think after we came back, so I think August 2016 to April or May 2017, we were just exploring, trying to understand what is the education space, what is possibility, what do we want to do, what problem are we trying to solve. And I think me and Samyak and other team members also, we did smaller pilots, went to a lot of competitions and conferences to really understand what was happening. And Samyak also led a pilot project in Chennai that we did. The idea was to get students and communities engaged in that. And then we continued. Our first validation came when in 2017, we got selected for a global competition in Chicago by Northwestern University. And I went there and we actually won that competition, which in a way, in our wildest dreams, we had not imagined. There were 43 delegates from 19 countries who had been selected. We had pitched about involved and we won that competition. So that was the first validation that the problem that we have chosen is correct. And the solution, the way we are thinking about it, is also in the right direction. Getting students as ambassadors of change, making them responsible to take care of other students could really be an approach to solve some of the education challenges.
Okay, one sec. So here, when you pitched Involve and showed it as a project, how many students were there? It's the same 12 students with the 4 mentees.
So we had 2 projects that we had done so far.
Okay.
So 55 students were there from the Delhi project.
Yeah.
And I think 50 to 55 were again there from the Chennai project, correct?
Yeah, about that much, yeah.
Yeah. So
and which school did you choose in Chennai? A school, because you were Delhi products. So you went back to your alumni. In Chennai, how did you choose the school? What did
you want to talk about that?
It was not the school actually, it was the community. Because initially we were thinking that why will the school, give us that permission, and if we go to a school, it will be difficult for us because we don't know Tamil as well.
Yeah.
So what will we say to the schools? So we wanted to do something in the IIT campus itself. So we told that we went around the campus, Adyar, Velachery and all of that. We went to places where there were houses of, not pakka houses basically. And we went and we had few volunteers with us from IIT Madras itself who knew Tamil. So we went and we told the parents that, okay, you will be, studying at IIT. And we pitched it like that, and that you will get to see the campus and all of that. So that was the main pitch which made parents come to the campus.
So the parents were from economically weaker section.
Yes.
Okay.
So we found leaders and the learners both from around the campus, whoever were in weaker section of the society.
Okay, so the economically weaker section is who you targeted. So around IIT Chennai means Adyar is around there, and Velachery is a little that side. Yes. Okay, so you chose kids from those 2 areas and found the mentors and mentees amongst those kids itself.
Yes, and we did a weekend program so that we can also invest time. The parents have no, they don't have to think before sending. The other volunteers who knew Tamil, they can also invest time over here. So all of those, we thought, let's do a weekend program and see how it goes.
Okay. Wow, brilliant.
So after that, like we had presented that, and then we won that. So after that, we were like, okay, we'll continue this part. However, we had not thought about starting it full time till that point in time. The nudge to start it full time came from one of the people that we had met in one of the competitions, and they had come to Chennai to for some other official work. They run this organization called Mantra for Change. Husband and wife duo, Santosh More and Khushbu Awasthi. Phenomenal people. So Khushbu had come to Chennai and we had a meeting. I think we had met in CCD. I think CCD is that place where we meet people and sort of get together. So she liked the idea and then she said that, why are you guys not starting it full time? And I said that, look, the only thing that we have is the money that we have got from the competition, and that also has gotten spent in some of the operations that we have done. We do not know education. We are not earning. We do not know anybody. Like, what do we start with? And then she was like, she said that any kind of education resources, the Mantra for Change works in education. They work in systemic education. She said that any kind of education advisory resources that you need, I'll give you upfront. You don't have to think about it, right? Just 2 or 3 of you guys who are there, like, get started. And at any point in time, if you need any help, we will be there to support.
Okay.
That was the nudge that they gave. And they also said that you come to our house in Bangalore, stay for a couple of days, we'll discuss the plan, the way you think about the business. That time we had not thought about non-profit, for-profit at that point in time. She said that, okay, that sort of seems nice. Coincidentally, they are also from Gaya, Bihar. So there's something about that.
So it's your state that got you all together.
Yeah. So we visited their place and we sort of found the idea really good. And we said that, okay, we still have 2 years to finish college. Let's try it, give our best shot for a couple of years. If we feel that it's not something that is our cup of tea, we will go back to anyway what we would otherwise do. But it's worth giving a shot. That was the thing that we took. We had Avnish who was willing to. So Avnish was my 4th colleague who was a founding member. He was that time completing his master's in Pune. So he agreed to come back to Chennai, leave his job, and be the first full-time member. So that's how we actually got started with Involve full-time. That was, I think, September of 2017. We registered the organization in January 2018, and that's how the full-time journey started.
So is this Yes Fellow and Gratitude Fellow part of that award or something else that Samyak you got selected for?
These two, no monetary incentive was involved in either of it.
Yeah.
It was just something where you get trained or coached by certain individuals to help build the leadership skills of me or the entire team or whatever the need entire is. And to make sure that to refine the problem, and in any sort of space, if you need help, they'll support that, but there is no monetary aspect involved.
So now here, both of you are near completion of your graduation, and I'm sure IIT Madras must have had the best of the headhunters coming to pick the brilliant students and take them into corporate India. How did both of you decide to go against it? Were you so involved with Involve and decided that you're going to go ahead with the project which had more meaning and not take a corporate career?
Yeah, I think something similar on those lines. Like, I think for me, and Samyak can talk about him as well, did not have very strong fascination for pay grade or a kind of work. Like, I had did my internship with Mondelez, which is a like sort of parent brand for Cadbury. And the project was very nice, but I did not feel a lot connected with that. And we had a PPO from there. So there's something called pre-placement offer from companies where you intern first. So that I had, but I decided not to go ahead with that because finally I thought that let's just try it once. Even if sort of nothing comes out, we have a good experience of starting something of our own and building an organization. And a lot of people that we talked to, they told that there's a value in entrepreneurship, because the kind of cross-functional skills that you get is good enough, like for people to value it. And so you can, so the thought was that if we, so for me particularly, if I, who studies in the best college in the India country, is not willing to take a risk, who else can? and that is really sort of something that I keep telling all my sort of juniors as well whenever they're thinking about entrepreneurship. We have a brand that will allow us to get good jobs. Like even if you just fail after 1 year, you can put a failed startup in your resume and that will have its own value. So it wasn't really a risk for me. I thought that it's worth doing, and that's how I chose to go ahead with it.
Okay. And Samyak, was it similar for you as well?
Yeah, I think I never thought of. I think same. I never thought of going on a high-paying jobs and all of that, and I was just enjoying here. So I never thought of it as an option also. I think both of us, even before placement, we decided that okay, there is no point of going ahead with that, and we wanted to explore this because the name we know that will always be there with us, so we can use that to our advantage. I think the 2 years of struggle in 11th and 12th has helped us on that aspect. And yeah, I think because I think there's a lot of support also from both of our parents.
Absolutely.
Because I think my mom told that okay, if you want to do it, just do it. My brother was a skeptical because he's a businessman. So he wanted me to take a job or if he's like okay, if you're doing this, if you're earning well, then it's fine. But yeah, I think my mom and dad never gave a second thought. They're like okay, if you want to do it and if you feel connected to it, please go ahead. I don't think we have any issues. So yeah, I think their support was there. I never had a second doubt towards it. I didn't want a very high-paying job, so there was no risk that I was really taking. As Divanshu said also, I don't think it was a risk. It was I think most favorable choice for us. I think going into corporate would have been a risk for us.
I love that. I'm going to come back to you on disruption and innovation, which go together. But more than that, I'm now curious on your social entrepreneurship journey. Both of you, any one of you can answer. When you decided to take the plunge into social entrepreneurship, and it was a kind of a big change making that you were getting into, you had already tasted a little bit of recognition, so you knew your steps were safer compared to somebody who was going to start afresh after graduation. What is it that made you gave the name Involve with something in mind, or was it very simple because it was the involvement of the seniors and the juniors and completely a project which needed each one completely in there involved?
So it is exactly that. I did not have a name for this thought, the project. It goes back to the first project that we did, right? The name was there before even the project started. So I was trying to talk to everybody about what this would do, and in all the conversations I was using, I was telling that it involves students to come together and learn from each other. So when the logo that you see, I think Samyak's sort of thing is that logo, Involve logo, that had students connecting with each other to learn. And then we say, oh yeah, that's what students are doing. That should be the name of the organization. And I was also explaining to people, and that's how the logo also came in. So the logo and the name has remained the same since we started.
Okay, so it's what? Formally, you started this in 2018, or after college did you start it in 19 formally as an intern?
So actually September 2017 we started with full time, where we had a couple of people who were working full time. I and Samyak obviously were still students, and so it was 2 years before we had graduated from college. Okay,
that you started it, and you still had the 2 years of the cushion. That in case it didn't work out, after 2 years you can still get other choices, but still you went ahead. And what did you learn in the 2 years as students that made you believe that this is a project that can sustain itself and you don't have to worry about a corporate career?
With respect to our learnings, the one primary thing that I got and that we both talk about is we do not take into account student interest a lot in the journey. The thought, thinking about education from a student-centric lens, that's something that is missing. When we think about the programs that are happening, we have teachers, we have system stakeholders, all of that. But we often we less worry about what does the student want. We never ask them that question. Right? So that was our biggest learning. In terms of the sustainability of the program, very honestly, we did not know, because a lot of things that we had thought about went wrong. Like, to give you an example, initially we thought that we would be self-sustaining in the low-income schools. We got, after like I think 2 months of work, we got, I think there are like, people are celebrating. But anyways, we got our first school, the low-income school, and we got kicked out after 2 months. We were trying to do a lot of things, and the school did not really like that intervention. So I learned that, like, in business, the first and foremost thing is to build that relationship for people to trust you. Otherwise, you really cannot go forward, right? So these were a couple of things that we got. One was about building relationship is the very important part. And second was around seeing things from a student-centric lens.
Okay, Samyak, anything else that you want to add?
More than learning, I think why that confidence came was because I think we could see kids smiling. We could see that, okay, if we are doing something and the students are liking it and they are, they're looking forward to it. I think that was I think that gave us confidence ki, okay, if the students are liking, we'll somehow be able to crack it. Although the Bangalore project that we were doing, that also somehow was not a very great success. In Chennai also, the school that we were working was not a very great success. So, but we knew that, okay, there are few challenges which either we didn't think of it earlier, it will come, and like, this can be solved. So we knew the challenges and we know all of these can be solved. So we're like, okay, I think we will be able to build a better program going forward. There is no point of stopping it here. That would be the addition.
Okay. Now going back to that question that I said, Samyak, maybe you can take this. When it comes to any kind of innovation, there's always a disruption that happens. Okay. So in your thought process, was there a disruption that occurred the moment you got into this? 2017 was when you said that you started involved. By 18, 19, the disruption in your thought process of getting into, like, I love the fact that you said getting into corporate would have been riskier than doing involved because it was far more safer for us. But compared to the rest in your batch, and with people around you in your campus, what is it that made you move away from the road normally taken to the road not taken to get into this space of social entrepreneurship? Because, normally people say, NGO, okay, so that means you're not earning any money. It's all free. How do you survive? How did you handle it, Samyak? And what did you tell yourself first to believe in this completely?
During that time, I think, first of all, a lot of my friends were praising me, at least. They were like, okay, you're doing something very, very interesting. And I think a lot of them, used to tell that, I don't know how you are doing, but we don't have the courage to do it. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing something very fabulous. I'm just doing whatever I'm liking. But if it feels you amazing, it's fine. So for me, it was a normal thing that I was just about to do. Then a lot of my friends saw me, I think, with respect, and they used to tell that, okay, like the path that you have taken is somewhat very, very difficult, because I remember as Avnish and one more Ashwini had joined us full time, so we made sure that we are there in the office by morning 10 o'clock, and that between whenever our classes are there, we'll go to the classes, and we used to work till I think 11 p.m., 12, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. also sometimes. And I used to go back at that point of time in my wing, and they used to tell, oh, wow, you are coming right now. So I think all that gave me a lot of confidence. Second, I believe that, okay, if I'm taking a step, I'll just go toward it. I just generally do not think a lot about, okay, if I fail, what will I do? So that thought process was never there in me. Okay, if I do not get something, because I think I don't know how that positivity came. I think something in the past might have happened, but I was very positive. Something good will only happen, and if nothing happens, then I learn something. Because in the past, in the 2-3 years, I've learned a lot of things into just managing people, into creating content, into just interacting with people who are 20 years, 30 years older to me, and they are saying, okay, you are doing an inspirational job. I don't know how do I inspire you, but okay, if you say, I'll agree to it. I think all of those things just said, okay, there is no point of going anywhere else. Just take this ahead. So I did not have another road to me. I just had this one road. I just took that.
Okay. Now I want you to explain a little more, Samyak. You are speaking about 2017 when you set up with 55 children. 55 children, Delhi, Chennai. In Chennai, it was not a school, it was a community that you got together. Now, when did the project start taking those giant strides, wherein you knew now that it's a feasible project, you were making a difference, and you could gain the confidence of people? Because to get local people's confidence is an important challenge. And you are not localites. Of course, you had your friends from IIT to help you, but for them to see the model as a workable one and not with any other intent there, how did you take it to the next level? You just spoke about content creation. So what kind of content were you creating? What exactly was the model, the plan of this entire project called Involve?
I think our biggest, so in terms of local validation, I just wanted to narrate the story. So when Abneesh left his job and came back, we were all excited. But what we realized was none of us spoke Tamil. Like all of these three were Hindi-speaking people, right? Yeah. So we were looking for volunteers to help us in Tamil. And then there was this girl, Ashwini, who volunteered to work with us in the weekend because she had a full-time job in the weekdays. And after 2 weeks of working with us, we were having this conversation again in CCD, where she proposed that she would want to join us full-time.
Oh, wow.
And I said that, see, look, I don't even pay Abneesh to an extent that he would be able to survive by himself right now. And we do not have any income source as such. So I was going to get sort of stipend from college, and we used to take some tuitions as well. So I said that I can match what Abneesh was getting. He was getting, I think, 8,000 or something per month. I asked her, what do you make right now? She was like, fresh out of college, she had worked for 1 year. So she earned like 3 to 4x of that. But within a moment, she agreed to sort of get into this, right? And that came as a strong validation. Because before that, we had never recruited anybody. Somebody like completely out of the initial sort of set of people that we had agreed to come up with us full time, leave his job and work with us. That was very important validation. Then like sort of we worked with her to go to schools and pitch our model. And then in 1 month itself, we got our first paying school. Okay. Right. So that was another sort of thing that went. Though we got kicked out of the school after a couple of months because of all the things that happened. But the thing was that this told us that the model sort of, there's a need for this problem, right? And the things we had to work out. The success of the work that we're doing came from the school that we had partnered with, and the Samyak will tell more detail about it and the model, is Kendriya Vidyalaya IIT. We had struck up a partnership with them. And we did there for like a couple of months before. So the model had changed that now we would actually not doing vacations or weekends, would actually do it as a part of the school program. So either the last period of the school or after school, students will stay and teach their juniors to solve their doubts and bridge their learning gap. So this was really the model. And I think Samyak should talk a bit about how the KV experience was.
The principal and the coordinator there, Vedapati ma'am, they both were very, very supportive, and they wanted to also try, something new. So yeah, we did an orientation with, I think 300-400 students in a big auditorium. We told them that okay, we will be selecting some of you students, and then you will have to stay back for 2 days in a week, and then you will have to teach your learners. So a lot of 11th graders started coming out from there, and they're like, okay, yes, Anna, we'll love to do this. I think there came a lot of again that I was telling that okay, the confidence in kids was there, their happiness was there, which we were like, okay, if they are ready to do, then why can't we? Yeah. So they told that okay, we'll be willing to stay back for an hour. I will tell our parents that okay, please come 1 hour later, because I think the good part was that the campus was very safe. Because it was inside IIT Madras, so there was no problem. A lot of students, there trusted the school a lot first. Second, they were from very nearby communities. They're either students of professors or somewhere from nearby only. So all of these played a very good sort of part for us. And there we saw a lot of success where like one of the story which I still remember is that one of the student leaders, she was suffering through fever, and she didn't come to school that day, and there was a involved class day. So after the class, so generally their classes gets over at 2:30 p.m. So I saw her at 2:30 and like, okay, now you are coming, and I thought she's coming from the class. I'm like, okay, you can take your class. And then after 1 hour of teaching, one of her friend told her, okay, why didn't you come to school? And then I was also very shocked. Okay, what happened? If she was not in school, then why did she come? Then we realized, okay, she just came for involved that day, and she told that, Anna, if I would not have come, then these students would be waiting, and that I would not feel very nice about it. And because these students would be waiting for me to come, so I had to come, even though I had fever. I am okay. I can teach them in this 1 hour. Don't worry about me. I think that was a huge motivation for us, that students can even take such a huge jump where they will miss out their school, but they'll come for this. That's how touched they were from this program and to the entire team. So I think that story tells a lot of things about all the student leaders and the learners. Everyone enjoyed, and I think we finished it very, very nicely there.
No, it shows how much of difference they can see they are making in the space that they are operating, right? Yeah. So, and when you know that there is a purpose and somebody else is getting something out of your presence, I think it kind of motivates without any words. Okay, now for the skeptical part of it, for those skeptics who think NGOs are free for all, the people who get in there should be doing it when they retire, when they reach superannuation in their corporate life and they want to retire, then they do meaningful work. Youngsters getting into that space come from privileged backgrounds. So for these kind of people who make such remarks, Divanshu, do you have something to say? What an NGO is all about and how does it work?
The larger aspect of an NGO is that just the development space that people are in. My personal take is that the problems in the development sector are much more complex than the problems in the just the business and consumer sector, because the context changes with demography, geography, and it's just a whole lot different. That's one. Second, the scale of the problem is enormous. The way we talk about market shares in business startups, in development sector, you cannot really do that, because just look at education that we have, right? The low income population that is there, that's 200 plus million. The biggest non-profit that exists today in education, which is Pratham, has solved for less than 5% of the problem. So that is really the interesting part to me, where I think of non-profit or social space not as something that you are just doing for charity. It's giving is obviously one thing, but primarily to solve problems and leverage innovation there, right? That is really the key interest, and that's where I think that much more talent needs to come into this sector than is seen right now. Youngsters should come there to make this a path of career. There are definitely challenges. This is an emerging space. Just 10 years, 20 years back, entrepreneurship was a very emerging space. Social sector is also that emerging for EU. But I think this is a shot worth taking. That's one. Second, you do not earn anything as such, right? There are funding models available to sustain a non-profit. So social enterprises can either be hybrid models where they have a social wing and a business wing as well. We initially operated through that manner, but later after a year we changed to completely philanthropic in nature because of other operational challenges that we had. So it's just that for a particular customer that you're targeting, right? That person is not really your payer. The payer is somebody else.
Yeah.
So we raise money for that through various philanthropic foundations. And we get paid for the work that we do. Definitely not at the competitive rates that others do, but it's enough for you to sustain and become better. So we have been able to do that really well.
Now the challenge came in 2019 is when you both graduated, and 2020 was when the world graduated into taking a very different look at life itself. A little virus taught us what is important about living, what is desire, what is need, what is basic need, and what is anything extra over that. Everything moved virtual. And your plan, how did you make it sustainable in the virtual space? Because you were catering to different communities in the social sector. how is your model up and running in this most challenging phase of the pandemic from 2021?
Samyak?
Yeah, we have 3 programs that we were running. Again, completely the bits and pieces we have done before, but it was completely revamped and made into an online space.
Mm-hmm.
One was the core program that we work on is the peer teaching, where a student teaches another student.
Mm-hmm.
We moved it into completely online, and we saw, I think, something much more beautiful that we would have seen in an offline space, because in an offline space we do it in schools. The school is accountable and your teachers are there, and all of that is there to keep them coming. In an online space, no one is there. So it really showed us that, okay, the students really believed in what they are doing, and that gave us a lot of confidence. So that model was completely up and running, and we have worked with around 400 to 500 students till now, where 1/4 or 1/5 of them were leaders and the rest were learners. The another program that we were running was to just make sure to engage the students at this point of time, make sure they are doing well, they are interacting with their family, and they are learning certain skills as collaboration, communication, storytelling, and others etc. So we started a learn from home, where we have a pool of around 140 activities which can be given on a daily basis to the student, and it requires just 45 minutes to 1 hour for them to complete. Okay. And there also we saw that, okay, students were really enjoying doing activities because these were something away from their academics. They did not want to focus on their academics, because I think it was March 2020. They have their academic year was ending, so they wanted to do something different. So that also was a good hit. Third, which we were doing, which was a completely entrepreneurship based program, where because I think we have learned a lot through our journey about entrepreneurship, and we want because in college we get certain exposure, we wanted that exposure to go in even to a school level, because I think students have that curious mind a lot. They are still not into that herd mindset, okay, if my friend is doing that, I'll do this. Their mind can still be shaped, and they can still be told, okay, what are the new things that are there. So we started an entrepreneurship based program. It was a 2 weeks program, where 1 week they will be taught some theoretical skills, another week they will be mentored by people from IITs, IIMs and all, and then they will actually build their own company, and they will pitch it in front of some key people that we have. So they will get a sense of theoretical knowledge. They will pitch, they will understand PPT making, presentation making, they will understand pitching, elevator pitch is what we told them to make. So all of those things were there. So these are the 3 programs that is running.
Yeah, and for this, online is good enough like anything else. Yeah. Good. Awesome. I was just sitting here and thinking that at 24, if you people have seen so much more of life, life is all about the way you're living, and you both are living such meaningful lives. Because I can recall Richard Branson, who said, once a change maker, always a change maker, but only a few swim against the tide. And you both definitely are doing that, and doing it very powerfully and beautifully. So individually, I've become greedy now. Together, maybe 6 takeaways. What is it that life has taught you? What is it the pandemic has taught you? If you can give me 3 takeaways.
Okay, the first one would be, I think it might be common also, so it might get reduced to 5. Is the value of relationship and value of people that has helped us, the entire organization, sail through. Like, it is like, okay, if we are facing certain challenges, we know there are certain people already there to help us out. People who have experienced 20, 30, 40 years, who are executives of different big corporates. So I think people and relationship are the most important part, because you learn a lot from them. You learn very fast from them. The advice, or I don't know, whatever it is, but the idea is to really hold the relationships very close to your heart and nurture them always, and take care of people as people, and not as just okay, if the need comes, I'll go and ask. Not like that. that would be the first. Second, which is a lot of mentors have also told us, and again part of the pandemic as well, where be ready to completely change yourself. We were very sort of adamant about the idea and all of that, but nothing was working in pandemic. So be ready to relearn, unlearn at any point of time. See it from the eyes of beauty. If you see it from the eyes of, okay, now I have to put an extra effort, then okay, you will feel always like that. But if you feel, wow, this is something new, let's see how it will go. So if you go from a very curious mindset, which is something that I love, when I think Kunal Behel says a lot, that people should be really curious. So you should be curious about new things, curious about how it will span out, how the new things will span out. That will be the second thing. Third would be, which is more recent, I would say, which is something that I've also sort of gone through, and I've also faced certain hardships, but a lot of mentors and all have told that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Don't be very, very hard on yourselves. The situation is bad. The situation is, things will become better eventually. So just be okay with whatever it is. See what you can learn from it. Take help and take support from people, and things will become better. And one advice I'll give you at the last for the IIT thing that you told, that why a few so many IITs and UPSC aspirants come from Bihar.
Yeah.
Divanshu, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. Like Samyak said, the first one was common. I think we have understood very well in the whole journey. But I'll still give three sort of separate. I came up with the other one. So I think one thing that has helped me a lot is allow yourself to try things and fail. And the basis of this is that you don't have to be right all the time. We've read a lot about this is not working, that is not working. That's absolutely fine. Like nobody is sort of expected to be right all the time. So just forget about things if things go wrong and start again. I cannot even count the amount of times that I've thought about something that has not worked out. Second, that's something that is a basis for all the sort of work that I do with people is trust. I think that trust is paramount. So whatever you do in life, ensure that you build things on trust, whether it is relationships, partnerships in business, friendship, anything that you do, trust should be a core aspect of things, because that allows you to sort of be honest, be transparent, and build on things. Otherwise, that's the foundation of any thing that's there. And the third thing that I personally believe in a lot is giving back. That's something that has very systemically come from my mother in small ways. But I think that's very, very important. And it's not really about people can give back. Everybody can give back in their own ways. And we can always do small actions that allow us to do that.
Okay. Yes, Samyak, I'm waiting for your tip on the secret of Bihar.
I think one thing that I have realized in this is from a very recent web series that I've been watching, TVF Aspirants, and the very latest episode that they talk about that, do you have a plan B? I think a lot of people from Bihar, they are so much motivated and so much want to achieve a thing, because people really look down to us in different because Bihar as a state is looked down. People here do not have a plan B. People just have one thing, and they just will make sure that they achieve it and they'll not come back without achieving it. And that's why I think a lot of people who from Bihar who go to different states and all, they make sure that they achieve and then only they come back. So
awesome.
Do not have a plan B.
So never have a plan B if you want to be an achiever in life. Wow. That's another bonus takeaway for us. Your dream, you have now touched 3,000 plus students of government schools of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and plan to touch 1 million in the next 5 years. Well, I'm sure if you continue with this zest and complete giving, the universe is opening its arms to give it out to you there. With everything moving virtual, I think touching globally will not be a challenge at all today. and for such beautiful work. I can put my hand up and say, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'll be more than happy to help virtually. Any which way I can send this message across and tell people what amazing young Indians we have here. And may you be the voice India needs to hear now, and the voice that the younger generation can listen to make a difference. Thank you so very much for giving your time.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for having us.
We had a great conversation. We really enjoyed it.
With that, we come to the end of this episode of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Do let us know your feedback and your guest suggestions. Write in to rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. That is rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com.